The county estimate population was 2,193,000. The data used was streetlight. The year, as I said, is 2021. And the sample trip count was around 90,500,000. So we utilized big data, and we have a high performance computing software to access at the university. So that's how we were able to come up with this analysis. And vehicles were all type, light, medium, and heavy duty. We're going to start talking about the bidirectional trips in San Bernardino County. So the numbers now that I'm going to show you is only in San Bernardino County. So the map here, this is San Bernardino County. The purple dots are the trips that are happening within the city. And as you go lighter, trips will decrease. The trips that start, for example, in San Bernardino City and end in San Bernardino City are the highest. The same for Victorville, the same for Rancho Cucamonga, the same for Ontario. And then lighter, you go to Upland, Chino Hills, Redlands, and Ukaiba. So these trips that happen intercity are the highest in percentage. The other element is connectivity that happens in the high desert or the northern part of the Inland Empire, which is between Victorville, Hesperia, and Apple Valley. This is as one network that is heavy in traffic. And another network starts from Chino Hills and ends in Highland. San Bernardino County, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, Fontana, and Victorville have the highest trips within the bidirectional trips within the county. And then we can see a steep decrease for the other counties all the way to Needles. So we can see from our big data study that most trips go to Riverside and Los Angeles. Outside California also has a high percentage of trips that go outside California. The trips that start or end in San Bernardino County go to Rupa Valley, Riverside City the most, and then we have Moreno Valley, Eastvale, Corona, and as the color goes to green, the trips decrease gradually. 33% of our trips in San Bernardino County happen for commute, and 66% are non-commute trips. On the right-hand side, you can see the commute, and on the left-hand side, you can see the non-commute trips. And again, Riverside and Los Angeles County had the highest percentage, then Orange County, and then we have Kern and San Diego. The miles traveled, Victorville, San Bernardino, Rancho, Fontana, and Ontario have the highest percentage of miles traveled with trips. That means that 50% of San Bernardino's county VMT comes from these five cities.
One of the traditional roles here is to provide improved traffic conditions and more consistent travel times for specific movements. Another traditional role of managed lanes, it gives transportation agencies a lever for influencing traffic patterns. Some criticisms of managed lanes, one of the difficulties with managed lanes it is difficult for the average person that's driving in a managed lane or express lane to quantifiably see the benefits. We can mitigate this in a few ways. For example, in San Diego, the express lanes on the 15 have signage that can actually tell you, estimated travel times between general purpose lanes and express lanes. The other challenge we have is public perception, and there are some common perception issues that we see. The first one is that funding mechanisms for express lanes are not well understood. Another public perception issue is that higher toll rates can be seen as a way for just bringing in additional revenue. Some strengths of managed lanes. Express lanes specifically can provide a funding mechanism that may not have an alternative. Next strength here is that you can use this targeted infrastructure that you're creating in a managed lane to improve traffic conditions or provide more consistent travel time for specific movements. A couple more strengths here. Express lanes, managed lanes can more easily target inter-county and inter-facility movements. Our goal should be that we need to move the most people, not the most vehicles.
As I mentioned, our world changed back whatever it was, March 15th of 2020. We were all told to go home. We went from having about 40,000 daily boardings on our system to an immediate drop to only at the time 4,000 daily riders, daily boardings. Right as COVID hit, we reduced it by almost 40%. It's like 35%. Our weekend ridership has gone up significantly over the last couple of years. It actually has, quote unquote, recovered faster than weekday trips. The Antelope Valley line is going to be sort of our very first test bed of an entirely new way of scheduling for our system. Having a new station that's opening up, that's the Vista Canyon station outside of Santa Clarita. One of them is they need to feel safe and secure. That's the top. As we've done research and asked people, what keeps you from riding the train, is there's this concern about safety and security. People that have ridden our train see us as a very safe and secure system. The new schedule that's going to be coming out at the end of October is creating train service throughout the day and well into the evening. We have a program for those of lower incomes. We call it our Mobility for All program. And with an EBT card, you put it in our ticket vending machine at a station, and it'll automatically give you a 50% discount. Just 2 weeks ago, we launched our Student Adventure Pass program. It allows a student to do, and while it's targeted at college students, trade school, community college, it's also available to high schoolers, that you can ride our trains for free. In 2008, we had a major train collision. It led to a national requirement for what's called positive train control. Very expensive GPS-based train safety system. We've also connected our PTC system with the United States Geological Service. So when there's an earthquake, it immediately sends a message to our trains. The 2028 Olympics, generally in the Los Angeles area, is car-free, meaning the workforce and spectators will not be able to drive your own car to a venue. You will have to take public transit.
The focus has been not only trying to give them alternative transportation methods, but keep them off of the road. So really, this is our vision. We want to create an equitable and sustainable community. And we're really trying to take a lot of those trips off the road in one way or another. We want to create more places for people to live, more things for them to do, and more ways for them to get from where they live to the things they want to do that don't all involve getting in a car and driving. We are growing. We're seeing continued out-migration, probably the first time we've ever really seen it in these numbers, from coastal communities to this area. So this area is growing and is going to continue to grow, partly because of just the cost of living, and people can actually somewhat afford houses and apartments out here compared to other places. So Riverside and San Bernardino, this Inland Empire area, is going to grow by another 20%. We're going to add another couple million people over the next decade or decade and a half. The Inland Empire is experiencing high density housing. No, it's not. That's South Carolina, which no one would equate as a high density state. And yet what you see on those purple spikes are downtowns, true downtown urban areas in South Carolina. We're trying to create a true multimodal transit district in the city, where we'll be able to have businesses that people work, places that people will want to go eat, shop, etc., places where people will live, and a variety of transit options. The Heart District, it is a play on words, but it also literally stands for the streets that form the boundaries of that arrow. Haven and Rochester on the east and west, and Arrow on the top. Cucamonga Station, our station is at the center of that heart district. That's going to be where all the forms of transit are going to come together. Ontario has a lot of room to grow. If we can tie all the transit together, we can bring a lot of those passengers in there and then seamlessly move them to where they need to be. Brightline got all of their environmental done. They've cleared all those hurdles. They are building a giant overcrossing over the train line out in the desert to move endangered species from one side to the other. They signed agreements with, I think it was 18 or 28 different labor groups. The concept behind Brightline is very simple. The idea is true high-speed rail, which is defined as anything over 186 miles an hour. They are going to be all electric trains. That's very important. Very good in terms of greenhouse gases.